going to last for 3 weeks. So there will be 6 lessons, and this is the first lesson. What we'll do is this lesson, we're going to talk about compound interest. So specifically changing compounding period and timelines. All right, so this is important for our work in grade 12, where our interest is compounded more frequently than annually. And we also need to understand how timelines work in order to be able to access the future value and present value questions that are part of the matric syllabus. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we need to understand what compound interest is. Okay, so compound interest is the exponential growth of money. Okay, so because it is exponential growth, our formula takes the form of an exponential function. So all of us know by now that when we're talking about our normal garden variety exponential function, it takes the form in its most simplest form of y equals whatever our base is to the power of x. Okay, where x is our input and y is our output. So now when it comes to compound interest, right, we've got a equals p 1 plus I to the power of n. So this bracket over here that I am coloring in yellow, this is your base. And P represents a number or a variable or a value that your base to the power of whatever is being multiplied by. So essentially, it's like having AB to the X. Does that make sense to you? Where the A in here, this little A, is like our P over there. Okay, so P is multiplied by the bracket and it gets bigger with respect to time. So essentially what I'm saying to you is that our n is our x. So n is on the x-axis and a is a function of n. And that's why a of n or a goes on the y-axis. Okay, so years go in and accumulated amount comes out and it makes an exponential function. Okay, it makes an exponential pattern. Okay, so now that we've cleared up what that is or just reminded you of that fact, let's go and jump into the different kinds of compounding periods that we can expect to see, right? So in grades 9 and 10 and 11, no, 9 and 10, we dealt with only annual interest rates. And then in grade 11, it happened that the interest can be quoted per annum, but it can be calculated over different time periods during the year. So in other words, it can be calculated annually. All right. So this would be once per year. This is what we've been working with up till we get to grade 11. So annually is once per year. Semi-annually or half-yearly means twice per year, every 6 months. Quarterly means 4 times a year, so every 3 months. Monthly is 12 times a year because it happens every month. And in some cases, there may even be a daily compounding. Okay, so that means it's going to happen 365 times per year. So that's quite a lot. Let's have a look at an example to put this kind of stuff into practice, okay? And I've got an example which shows us what to do with each and every single one of these, all right? So, first of all, we want to calculate, now when they say the future value here, we've got to be careful. Their words are sometimes a little bit confusing. I mean, future value, they don't mean the future value formula. What they mean is A. Okay, because we're talking about compound interest. Okay, so the accumulated amount, all right, what it grows into. So calculate A of an investment of 15,000 Rand after 3 years at an interest rate of 15% per annum compounded. So in this situation over here, our 15,000 Rand represents our P, our principal. Okay, 3 years is our time period, so N is equal to 3. And our interest rate is 15% per annum compounded annually. So our first thing that we're going to do, A equals P1 plus I to the power of n. So when we want to calculate the value of A, very easy, we're going to sub in our 15,000, 1 plus our interest rate. So because it is annually, it's going to be 0,15. And because it's compounded once a year, that's essentially over 1. All right. And then over here, 3, okay, because it's for 3 years, but it's compounded once a year. So that's what we've been doing in grade 9 and grade 10. So at this interest rate, compounded once a year, 15,000 Rand, and you can work this out on your calculators as well, is going to grow into what? What are you guys getting? I'm getting 22,813 Rand and 13 cents. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so here, half yearly. Yeah, me too, Leroy. That's what I got as well. So half yearly, our formula is still the same. So A equals P, 1 plus I, but now it's half yearly. So that means that we need to take our interest rate and divide it by 2. And then over here, how many half years do we have in a period of 3 years? We have to multiply n by 2. So what we divide I by, we multiply n by. All right, so this over here, this n represents the number of times that the interest is compounded in the period. Okay, so Juanita, you were saying here, and Liam as well, 2, 3, 1, 4, 9, 5, 2. Now, if we compare these two answers, can you see that the more frequently it's compounded, the faster the money grows? Okay. Now that I've shown you this, you should remember how to do the rest of them. Yes, that's perfect, Timna. Would you know what to do with quarterly? What would we divide I by with for quarterly?
4.
By 4, correct. All right, and then here we would have to say 4 times 3. Okay, because in 3 years there are 12 quarter years. All right, lovely, and we can work out that answer. And I'm going to let you guys do the monthly and the daily by yourselves. Okay, so you're going to do monthly and daily on your own. And when you're done, you can tell me you're done and we can share our answers. Okay.
Monthly, hello.
Do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was just trying to calculate.
That's no problem.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Okay, so cool. So Andiswa, you are saying that for D, I got the same answer as you, Andiswa. I also got 23459,16. Liam says the same thing. Okay, Jadane, you're saying the same thing as well. And this way you've got an answer for E. Yes, I got the same answer as you. Ria Bilwe, yes, I got the same answer. Intumaleng, yes. Amanda, yes. Masishaba, same answer. Kibelo. Okay, so Kibelo, all you've done there is you just haven't rounded properly. Okay, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, so to 2 decimal places, remember to look at the 3rd decimal place. Yes, Tina, I'm getting the same answer as you for E. Yes, Liam. Okay, so I quite agree with everybody. So here we had an answer. I got 23331,81, and then like the rest of you for D, I got 23,459 rand and 16 cents, and for E, I also got 23,522. I got 51 at the end. Am I wrong? Is it 50? Okay, but guys, the reason why it's 51, okay, if you're looking at your calculators, can you see the decimal places? It's 23522.508. Okay, so if it's 508, then to 2 decimal places, it's got to be 51. Okay, so just be careful of that, because in your paper, what your teachers might choose to do is that on one question, they might choose to penalize you for rounding. Okay, so don't let yourselves lose 1 mark because of rounding. Is everybody happy with that? Thumbs up. Are we all good with this section? That's it, Cabello. Cool, Liam. Nice, Tepo. Thanks, Ria Bilwe. Thanks, Amanda. Okay, so the reason we were just practicing this, whatever we divide I by, we have to multiply N by. All right, so that's the takeaway message here. So what we multiply, let me start with divide. What we divide I by, we multiply N by. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about mostly thumbs up. Oh, good. Okay. Neliswe, do you want to see if you can maybe help Tando Kuhle? In the chat, and I will start.
I'll unmute him.
Okay, all right, that's perfect. And I'm going to continue with the next one, if that's okay. All right, so here we've been given 100,000 Rand is invested for 5 years at an interest rate of 16% per annum compounded quarterly. Thereafter, the accumulated amount is reinvested for a further 6 years at an interest rate of 15% per annum compounded semi-annually. Calculate the value of the investment at the end of the 11-year period. In matric, you are going to get questions on compound interest and on reducing balance depreciation. Okay, so that's why I want to revise these before we get into the matric work. Okay, because these sorts of questions come up. This is grade 11 work, and these are where we can get the majority of our marks. Okay, so the best way to answer a question like this is to use a timeline. You don't get any marks for it, but it really gives you a nice way of being able to visualize the problem. Okay, so what we do is we start at T0, and then we've got T1. Okay, this is a bit long, this one. T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, T9, T10, T11. Okay, so the 100,000 Rand is invested here at the beginning. Okay, so 100,000 Rand goes in. The interest rate for 5 years, so the first 5 years, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the first 5 years, the interest rate is 16% per annum compounded quarterly. So we write that as 0,16, because it's 16 divided by 100. Compounded quarterly means we've got to divide it by 4. Okay, thereafter, the accumulated amount is reinvested for a further 6 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At an interest rate of 15% per annum. So 0,15, and now it's being compounded semi-annually. What should I divide 0,15 by for semi-annually? Good, lovely, well done. So a lot of people want to divide it by 6, which is incorrect, but not you guys. Well done, that's really awesome, Matrix, beautiful. Okay, so now the quickest, easiest way for us to work out our answer is as follows. Instead of doing it in 2 steps, we can do it in 1 step. So A, our accumulated amount, is equal to P, our 100,000, open brackets, 1 plus 0,16 over 4. All right, and now it's being compounded quarterly. How long is it in the account for? For 5 years. Okay, so I've got to multiply 5 by 4 because it is compounded 20 times in that 5-year period. Now, instead of working out the answer and then writing a new equation, what I can do is I can just multiply this by my new bracket. Okay, so this is going to accumulate again, but at a new interest rate of 15% compounded half yearly. So now this is going to be to the power of 2 because it's compounded twice a year for how many years? 6 years. Okay. Oh, sorry, Inam. Did I go too far? Inam, I don't think you're going to have time to take down all the questions. It's probably better if you just take a screenshot of it. Yeah, I think just screenshot the questions. Otherwise, you'll never, ever be able to write all of this in the lesson. Okay, Shanice can't hear. No problem, Inam. Shanice can't hear anything. I don't know, Shanice, do you want to try logging out and logging back in again? All right, and this we just put straight into our calculators. What you see there, you just pop that into your calculator and it'll work out the answer for you. And then we can share what we get. Hopefully we all get the same thing. Okay, so we all seem to be getting lovely. I'm getting the same thing. All right, nice, Matrix, good job. Okay, so we're all getting the same answer of 521,877 Rand and 24 cents. Okay, good job. So just remember to put in the Rand sign. Obviously, you don't have to worry about that in the chat. And then to round money to 2 decimal places, always, always, always. Okay, so that one was nice and easy. Let's have a look at something that's a little bit different now. Okay, so here's Mark, and he wants to save up. Yes, good, everybody. Nice. Mark wants to save up for an overseas trip in 5 years' time. So he needs to have saved 120,000 Rand. If he receives an interest rate of 8% per annum compounded monthly, how much money must he save now? Okay, so what do you guys think we should do here? Anyone got any ideas? Okay, so we're still working with compound interest. Aha, We work out P, absolutely. We've been given A this time, absolutely. So now we need to work out P. Can I let you guys do that on your own? And then we can share answers? Awesome. Okay, let's try that. And let's see if we get the same answer. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, Liam, you've got a very different answer to Juanita. Juanita, ooh, and Andiswe is different again. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Anybody else get an answer that's completely different to Andiswa and Juanita and Liam? Yeah. Tyrese, 178. Okay. All right, Marco. Isn't this interesting? Hey, we're all doing the same question and we've got different answers. Okay, so Tsepiso, Cabello, Nsako, Lesedi, Marco, I got the same answer as you guys. All right, so let's just do this for, and Itumeleng as well. Let's just do this for everybody so that we can just see where we've gone wrong. Okay, so the guys have got it right. Just hang fire for 2 seconds and let's do this together. Okay, so remember we are working with compound interest. So that means we've got A equals P 1 plus I to the power of N. This 120,000 is what he wants at the end. So that's our A value. So we're going to put 120,000 here on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Because they're saying to us, how much money must he save now? That means we need to work out what P is. 1 plus our interest rate, 0,08. Okay, sometimes we write 0,8. Remember, 8 divided by 100 is 0,08. And because it's compounded monthly, it has to be divided by 12. Remember, Mark's going in 5 years' time. So we've got to multiply 5 by 12. We want to make P the subject of the formula matrix because P is what we are solving for. So we want P on its own, which means we need to divide both sides by the bracket. So P is equal to 120,000 divided by our bracket, 1 plus 0,08 over 12 to the power of 60. Okay. The other way that we can set this out, of course, is that when we want to calculate P, we're going to take 120,000 and we can multiply it by our bracket to the power of negative 60. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, Kelebogile, that's the correct answer. Tyrese, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know. And Diswa, very common mistake. That's why we're doing this. Okay, you won't do it again. Wasn't So Masibuya, you were fine. Juanita's good. Tandakule, I hope you know where you've gone wrong now. That's it, Andiswa. Good. Okay, now you're getting the correct answer. Okay, so everybody should be getting the 805 45, comma 25 now. Okay, there we go. Hunter, you've got it. Owami, you've got it. There we go. Lovely. All right. So it was just a matter of rearranging the equation correctly. Good, Andiswa. Nice job. Tandakule, good. I'm so pleased. Okay, so if it helps you, write this third step in. You don't have to, but if it helps you to do that, then go for it. Okay, so this is the step I'm referring to over here, this one. Okay, so that you solve for P correctly. Okay. How's everybody feeling at this point? Can we have some emojis or a comment? We're feeling good. Nice. Thanks, Ibusiso. Thanks, Leroy. Good, Kaniso. Good. Oh, I like that. Crystal. Oh, good. I'm so glad you feel you've learned a lot, Maseko. Good, Timna. Lovely. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So ask questions. If there's anything that you don't understand, please, that's why we're here. Stop me, and I can go back and I can explain it. Cool, Hunter. I'm so glad to hear that. All right, so now let's make things just a little bit more interesting, and then we can move on to the next thing. So Jennifer receives a gift of 4,000 Rand from her boyfriend. Isn't she lucky? She deposited the money into a savings account. 3 years later, she received another gift of 5,000 Rand from her boyfriend and deposited the money into her savings account. Calculate how much money Jennifer will have saved 3 years after her deposit of 5,000 Rand. Assume that the interest rate for the first 2 years of the savings period is 18% per annum compounded monthly, and that it changes to 18% per annum compounded half yearly for the remaining 4 years. Okay, so this is a proper timeline. The best way for us to answer this question is to make our little, the words just gone straight out of my head. This thing, our timeline like this, even though we're not getting marks for it. And then we can go on and answer the question. Can I let you guys try this on your own? And let's see how we go. I will work through it with you, but I just want you to have an opportunity to try it on your own, okay? Are we all good with that? Cool beans. Thanks, Lesedi. Yes, SS Biela. Please ask your question. You're welcome to unmute and ask. I'm trying to unmute you.
I'm trying to do the same.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what you Sorry, Neliswa.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. Go for it.
How do I identify a formula that I'm going to use for the type of a question?
What are you asking me? How do you identify?
The formula that I'll use.
The formula that you use. Okay. So it works like this. If there is an installment, then you're going to use future value or present value. If there is no installment, you're going to use compound interest. Okay, so here we are just revising the grade 11 work. We're not doing future value or present value just yet. This is compound interest. Okay, we're going to talk more about how do we know what formula we're supposed to use as the lessons go on, but this is all about compound interest.
Yes.
Okay, so you're using the compound interest formula here. Okay, Jodane, you're saying the timeline is a little bit confusing. Cool, let me help you construct it. All right, so how many years? So she's got a gift of 4,000 from her boyfriend. She deposits it. 3 years later, she gets another gift. And so 3 years after that. Okay, so that means shame, sorry, okay. Okay, so at T0, Lucky Jennifer goes plus 4,000. 3 years later, 1, 2, 3, Lucky Jennifer plus 5,000. Okay, so that's the money that's gone into her account. Okay. So 3 years after her last deposit of 5,000. So that's why we've gone to T6. So from T3 to T4 to T5 to T6 is another 3 years later. So it should make sense to you that we're working out how much money Jennifer has after 6 years. Okay. Now it says to us the interest rate for the first 2 years. So let's use a different color. For the first 2 years, the interest rate is 18% per annum. So 18 divided by 100 is 0,18 compounded monthly. So we have to divide it by 12. Okay. For the remaining 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, it changes to 18% per annum compounded half yearly. Okay, so there's a little bit of help with the timeline. Okay, so Tsepiso has offered an answer. Okay, Tsepiso, we're just going to give everybody else a couple more minutes, and then we're going to talk about what. Oopsie, I just dropped my calculator.
No worries.
So that it was my calculator and not my phone. There we go. Okay. It's all right, Michali. Welcome. It's nice to have you back. Okay. Leroy has got a different answer. Okay. To Tsepiso. Cool beans. That's fine. Nelisa, have you also worked out an answer here?
For this one?
Yes. You don't have to.
No, I haven't done it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I can quickly.
No, you don't have to worry.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm kind of confused. So are we supposed to add what Jennifer got after 3 years from the 5,000? Then we add it to the
Absolutely, Cabello. Okay, so we do have to add that. All right, but it's the 4,000 rand that's in the account has to stay in the account all the way through to the 6th year. So first it's going to earn interest at the interest rate of 18% per annum compounded monthly.
Yeah.
And then it's going to earn interest at the interest rate of 18% per annum compounded half yearly. And then
With the
to
added
that,
5,000.
pardon?
With the added 5,000.
And then we have to add the 5,000 that's going to earn interest at a rate of 0.18% per annum compounded half yearly.
Oh, that's what I
All
think.
right, now, no problem. I will do it with you guys. I just want to have a look here and see what your answers are because I don't see anybody with the same answer as me.
Yeah, can we have like a couple of minutes?
Yes, sure,
Okay.
Cabello, not a problem. I'm just having a look at everybody's answers in the chat. Okay. I haven't got the same answer as anybody. My answer, the closest to that is you, Andiswa. That's not what I got though. Okay. So we're going to have to go and talk about this, aren't we? I'm just going to give everybody another couple of minutes. And then we'll work through it together and we'll see if we can maybe figure out where we went wrong. I didn't get that either, Itumeleng or Tandukuhle Zanele. My answer was a little bit different. Maybe I made a mistake, but let's work through it together. Okay, I'm going to get started now. Let's see if we can help you to identify. Yeah, very close, Cabello. It's almost what I got, but yeah, mine is still different. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Okay, so A is equal to, so 4,000 Rand goes into the account and it earns interest at 18% per annum compounded monthly for 2 years. So that's 1 plus 0.18 over 12 to the power of 12 times 2. Now, I bet everybody got that right. But the money stays in the account. That 4,000 Rand is staying in the account and it's earning interest at the new interest rate now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that by a new bracket. 1 plus 0,18 because the money is staying in the account. All right, it's accumulated to a certain amount and now it's going to continue to grow because it's not being taken out. It's going to stay in the account for another 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here it has to be 2 times 4. So that's the 4,000 Rand that earns interest from start to end. Yes, Pabalo? What's your question?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
May I please ask, why did you divide the 0.18 by 2?
Okay, because it said here that if the interest rate had changed to 18% per annum compounded half yearly.
Oh, okay.
So
ma'am.
if it's being compounded half yearly, then you've got to divide it by 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay,
Thank
Pabalo,
you.
no problem. No problem. Yes, Kelebogile, ask.
Ma'am, hi.
Hi.
Ma'am, according to the problem that we have here, it says that she received 4,000, right?
Yes.
But what about the 5,000 that she deposited? I mean,
Okay.
she received.
Yeah, we're not finished. We're not
Okay.
finished. Okay, so we've still got to add that in. Okay, we're not finished yet. You're quite right. Okay, so what we've got to do now is add in the 5,000 Rand that she received. Okay, because she didn't just get 5,000 Rand, she also got the interest. How long is the 5,000 Rand going to be in the account for? You can count here. It's going to be in here for 1, 2, 3 years. So here we have to take 2 and times it by 3. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? How do you feel? Maybe you're all busy copying this down. So yeah, I'll just give you a chance to copy it down and then you can tell me how you feel about it. I'm just going to work it out again myself.
Ma'am,
Yes, Cabello.
ma'am, isn't it supposed to be 4? Isn't how?
What's supposed to be 4? Did I make a mistake somewhere?
There where you multiplied that the exponent for 5,000.
Okay, why must it be multiplied by 4?
Didn't they say in the 4 years, in the remaining 4 years? So
Okay, so 3 years later, she receives another gift of 5,000 Rand from her boyfriend and deposited the money into the savings account. Calculate how much money Jennifer will have saved 3 years after her deposit of 5,000.
okay.
Does that make sense? Why it's 3?
I see.
No problem. No problem. Sure, Lesedi, I know these can be quite difficult. All right, Timna's happy, Cassandra's happy. All right, I still haven't seen the answer that I've got. I am going to explain it one more time for you guys. I'm just double checking my answer.
Ma'am, I got the same answer.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me just check mine. Maybe I made a mistake the first time. 0.18. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Oh, okay. I must have pressed something strange the first time. Okay. That's why I say I know I also make mistakes. All right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well done. You guys are getting the right answer now. I got a weird answer the first time. Okay. So 19,778 Rand. Okay. Well, in this case, how's that? It would round up to that. Okay, and that's what you guys, that's fine, Leroy, doesn't matter. Good, well done. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Yes, Oratile, quite right. Okay, so what often tends to happen here is that we write the first bit. So we write 4,000 times 1 plus 0,18 over 12, 12 times 2. And then we kind of like, okay, well, now what do we do with the rest of the time period? Then we like, how do we introduce the 5,000? But what you've got to remember is that 4,000 Rand stays in the account. It first earns interest at 18% per annum compounded monthly, and then it earns interest at 18% per annum compounded half yearly. That's what the first term is calculating. All right, so it's calculating the deposit of 4,000 and the interest. The second term is calculating the 5,000 Rand deposit and its interest. Okay, and then we add those two together, and that's where we get our 19,779. Did anybody say that in the beginning? And I was like, no, I got a different answer. Okay, Michael got the set. Okay, okay, Praying, you got it. Elam, you actually got it. Sipo, you also got it. Let's see if there was anybody else back here. Okay, Mako, you also got it in the beginning. Sorry, Mako, and it was me that said, no, it's wrong. My apologies, Mako. Okay. But no, nobody else. Oh, no, hang on. And Leroy. Okay, and you added Leroy right in the beginning. Okay, so very, very well done to you guys. That's excellent. Yes, well done. Good stuff. Okay. I wonder if Neliswa, do you think that we have time to start something else?
If you're gonna do the poll, I think if it's like a small question, not a complicated question, we can do one until 55.
Okay. All right, let's. Okay, because this is what I was going to do with you guys, but let's start talking about this because there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Okay, this is the other thing from grade 11 that is very, very definitely going to be asked, okay, and it's called reducing balance depreciation. So I just want to show you a picture of the graph because again, like with compound interest, I think it's really important for us to understand what it is that we are dealing with. So when something depreciates, it means that it loses value. Okay, so anything that can be bought is going to lose value over time. So, you know, if you buy a new car, it's not going to be worth the same amount of money that you paid for it when you sell it in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. And anything, whether it's factory equipment or a photocopier or a car, a computer, anything, so cell phone, all these things after they've been used and after time has gone on, they're going to lose their value. Reducing balance depreciation, okay, is where something loses value exponentially. Okay, so this is still an exponential equation, all right, but it is now decreasing. Okay, over time. So up here, this value there, which I suppose I shouldn't scribble over, all right, this is going to be what it was in the beginning. This is your A. And here, after time, this value over here is going to be what it depreciates to. Sorry, I beg your pardon, I said the wrong thing there. This is going to be your P value. Okay, so what it is presently. What it accumulates to is A over there. All right, so P is going to be bigger than A. It's the other way around for reducing balance. Okay, so here's our formula. A equals P 1 minus I to the N. And it's really important that you make the association between that and the words reducing balance. Okay, because they often ask questions in the matric paper and they ask you to calculate different things and they say to you that it's on a reducing balance. All right, and they expect you to know that that is the formula. Okay. All right, so a useful formula. Yeah.
Can I run the poll while you still explaining?
I tell you what I've got the time as we've got 8 minutes left. Okay, I'm going to do one more example and then we can do the poll.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just do this and then we can do the poll. All right, so here's the formula. A equals P1 minus IN, where A is the book or scrap value, so what it's worth at the end. P is its present value, I is the rate of depreciation, and N is your time period. What we're going to do here, because I want to save time, I'm not going to worry about doing this right now. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Let's just talk about the reducing balance. So Joshua wants to sell his car in 5 years' time. The rate of depreciation is 14% per annum, and the car's current value is 60,000. Calculate the book value of the car in 5 years' time if depreciation is based on the reducing balance method. So these sorts of questions are super easy. We're going to say A equals P, what the car is worth presently. 1 minus, okay, because it's reducing balance. 0.14. Now, reducing balance depreciation is not compounded more than once a year, okay? And the reason that that happens is so that the things that we buy are not worth nothing in a very short period of time, okay? So depreciation is only compounded once a year, so it'll always be annually. Okay, and then to the power of our time period, so in this case, it is 5. All right, so we would sub that into our calculator. What are you guys getting as an answer? Yeah, even me. Okay, Pabalo, you've got a question. What would you like to ask?
Ma'am, so we divide the interest rate only in in the compound interest.
Only in compound interest. Okay, so your compounding period only changes with compound interest. Okay, so for reducing balance depreciation, you're not going to be dividing, no. Okay, otherwise, and the reason that that happens, as I was saying, is because imagine if things lost value and then that was compounded. So like today, you buy yourself a cell phone and tomorrow it would be worth nothing if that was the case. All right, so with depreciation, it depreciates much, much slower than things would appreciate or grow bigger. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, you've all got the right answer here. That's lovely. It's a pleasure, no problem. Okay, so we're going to talk more about depreciation the next time, and then I'm going to get into using logs to calculate N. All right, we're going to do the poll now. Once you've done the poll, if you've got any further questions that you want to ask, you're more than welcome to stay on and ask them. If not, then goodbye, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a lovely evening, everyone.